Let me take you through some of the interesting games from round four. Uh, there was one game between Siddharth and Adrit. As usual, Siddharth's game is the one that ended first out of all the games in this round. And here it was a very interesting game. Siddharth got a taste of his own medicine. Uh, it looked like here. So this position, Siddharth is threatening knight c7. Adrit's best option was to just castle, probably. Because knight c7 is not really a threat because rook b8 can come. Unless the king is in the middle. Then it becomes a fork. What is the engine saying? It says castles or bishop d8. But yeah, he went king d8. Knight takes, pawn a3, a nice waiting move by Siddharth. He is asking Adrit to take the pawn. Adrit just takes it. Now Siddharth plays rook d1. Castling was also good. So rook d1, now the knight is pinned. There seems to be no defense, right? Siddharth must have thought he's winning here because he's winning a piece. But no, he's not really winning yet. Rook d1, bishop e2, and rook e4. Adrit finds a way to defend it. But this is where Siddharth's speed play is costing him games. It's a piece. The rook is defending it, but he can just kick the rook away. Just pawn f3, and where will the rook go? Rook goes here, then pawn g3. Or here, say again pawn g3. So basically, the rook is not able to sustain itself on this rank, fourth rank. But Siddharth did not find pawn f3. Siddharth played knight king f1. He just played king f1, king e7. Still pawn f3 was possible. Not as winning as before. Maybe he will just an exchange, but yeah, it was still possible. But it doesn't find. He plays bishop f3, and the advantage is gone. The advantage is gone, and now bishop g4 comes in. Rook d3, rook c8. Very nice move by Adrit. And here comes the big blunder by Siddharth. He thought if rook c1, king g2, and everything is fine. And you can see all these moves are being played super fast, except for the last move. Here he thought a little bit. But yeah, there comes the mate. And Siddharth just resigned here because next move is checkmate. Not this rook here. And whatever he blocks with, it's mate. So that was one game. The second one was a very nice game by Siddhant. Ritwik made a small mistake of playing knight e7. That is, it's not really a small mistake at this level because the knight on f6 has to be defended by the queen. You cannot allow knight takes knight and pawn takes back. That is not possible. But knight e7 allows that. And again, the problem is playing too fast. If you look at the time, he's just taken 10 seconds to play 90. I mean, how many seconds? Uh, 4 seconds, 6 seconds to play 97. And now comes knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. The pawn is gone. Now the finish is even more beautiful. Bishop takes. Okay, here Ritwik was afraid of pawn takes and queen g4. He plays d5. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, queen g4 could come, right? Pawn is not really defending it. The pawn is pinned. Takes, knight g6, bishop takes. Siddharth makes some unnecessary moves, like taking the pawn was all unnecessary. c3. He can directly go for queen g4, right? Just go for the kill. These are unnecessary moves. But yeah, now he goes for queen g4, and Ritwik did not see the threat. He did not see the threat on g6. If he had, he could have played king h7 or something that defends it. But yeah, queen g6, and now it is checkmate. The pawn was pinned. That is why he could not have taken it. So that's a very important pattern in many openings. Now here is an endgame, a queen endgame, where Agash is winning after playing some good moves. It was a very difficult game for both of them. It was winning. Vrikshav says from move 50 onwards it was a draw. Definitely not. Here it is winning for, I would say practically is winning for black because black can just keep pushing the h pawn. But from here, Agash plays something completely. He must not be aware of how to play a queen in game. He thought the king has to come in. King coming in will not help here uh, because his pass pawns have to be pushed. So basically, the plan should be to just push it as far as possible, and the king stays here. This pawn can be taken care of by the black queen. And if you get a chance, give a fork and pick up that pawn. That should be the aim. Get these pawns rolling together, especially this guy. And the king should be there safe. But Agash plays king f6, king g7, and now king f6. These are bad moves. Queen moves, queen b7, pawn b6, King comes toward this side, but the problem is his pawns is still there. They're not moving anywhere. Yeah, now he's pushing them, but f5, f5 not really good. And this queen is too passive. Queen is too passive behind that pawn. Pawn f5, king moves. This king, where is it going though? It can't come here, it can't come here, it can't come here. Where will it go? So there's no point of this king coming. This king should have stayed here and helped the pawns forward. And now queen check, the pawns start going. Yeah, one pawn gone. He didn't take it this time. And now another pawn gone, and then three pawns gone. Everything is gone. And now Akash has to fight for the draw. It is right there. Akash could have just exchanged queens here itself, or even here itself. But he gives a few checks and then exchanges, and then becomes a draw by stalemate. Kavya versus Srijan. This was a game where Srijan missed a win. Kavya has just played knight b5. Her rook is attacked. After knight d3, this rook is attacked. But she plays knight b5, which is a clear blunder. It's just basic tactics for Srijan. You take the rook, she takes it, you get the piece. You're up a piece. But Srijan just didn't see it. So he has to work on tactics. Rook moved. Still the same tactic is there. You're winning a piece. You just take the rook, she takes back and you get a piece. Back in the game, you're up by 2 pawns. Up by 2 pawns, it's winning. But he didn't see that again. He moved rook d4 and now the chance is gone. He's right now down a piece. Takes, and then he goes for counter play with the pawn. He got the pawns in time. Now he's going after the knight. Knight moves, pawn goes forward. And this is where Kavya conjured up a nice mating net for Srijan. Knight f5. So she's getting all the cavalry towards the king. The a pawn is running, but just in time. Here, king g6 also doesn't really do anything because rook g7 and then g4 is mate. Like it's already too late. If you play king g6, rook g7. If king h5, then g4 is checkmate. So all roads lead to mate. But that might have been his best option because rook g7 he can go king f6, and the game goes on, right? But what happened was he just kept on pushing the pawn, thinking it's all fine here. Rook g7, king moves, and knight f7. A nice checkmate with the two knights and the rook by Kavya with the pawn knocking down on the door. And the last game I'm going to show you is between Yetin and Nandita. It was a beautiful game by Yetin. He sacrificed a pawn here. I don't know the name of this gambit, but it's a gambit. So Nandita decides to hold on to that pawn, and Yetin just makes sure that he gets enough compensation. So compensation is he's got three pieces out. He's had in development and d6, and he has got control of d5 square, ship out, and he has a weakness on d6 that he can target. So all in all, it was a very good gambit, and accepting the gambit and holding onto the pawn was probably a bad idea by Nandita. Now the pawn is almost gone, isn't it? You can't defend it again. It's attacked thrice. Bishop g4. Now he just gets back the pawn with a better position. And now comes it was a check, but Yetin just decides to move the king. Black is so far behind in development, and now comes knight c7, winning a full. Oh, what was that? Okay, that was nice tactic, basically, isn't it? What is the point of before? Why not just take the rook? Take the rook and bishop takes is what he was afraid of. That must be good for Nandita then if this happens. No, it is equal. King is still in the middle, so that's why it's better for white. But yeah, that is why Yetin did not take the rook. That was a brilliant choice then e5. e5 is a beautiful move because it keeps the knight there itself. Bishop is defended properly, and this queen and bishop are now looking at f7. It's a nice move. Bishop takes, pawn takes. So the king is stuck. So Yetin chose not to take material. Instead, he kept a great position. That's a brilliant decision. Knight e5. Okay, now one of the pieces will be extinct. Queen b7. Oh, it's not a sack. If you take, of course, queen takes, rook will get both the rooks. So rook moves. Knight check. Wow, that's some finish. That's a beautiful find by Yetin. You can see there's no defense. I mean, whatever king does, it's mate. Even if taking doesn't matter, because it's still mate. So this knight d6 is such a nice move. They discovered attack, not easy to find at all. And he gives a beautiful mate in round four. So that about sums up the uh, incidents in round four. Glitches as usual restarted at around 11:30, but it didn't affect any games, thankfully.